Good day everyone, welcome back to my channel. I go by name Abionashito once again. So in this short video I'm going to walk you through how to ignore some certain files. That's how to avoid pushing some certain file to your GitHub repository. Files like your main.c file, the underscore butcher file, and some other files like that are not necessarily supposed to be on your GitHub. For instance, if you're given a task, say let's give you a task under a particular project, you'll be given at the bottom of that particular task, you'll be given something like GitHub repository, the directory name, then the file name. Okay, is that file name that you're given there that is supposed to be on your on your GitHub repository, so that the checker can run can grade you according to what is inside that particular file, not any other file. Okay, so sorry I'm not allowed to display the content of ALX, but I'm sure you guys are following with what I'm saying. So just to demonstrate what I'm telling you, so currently I'm inside the GitHub repository given to you. Let's assume it's ALX low level. So you just need to navigate to where you have your ALX low level programming repo. So inside this repo, probably I was told to create a directory that is going to house this particular project I'm supposed to work on right now. So I'm just going to make a directory, just a demo directory. Let me just call it let me just say functions. Let me just call it directory functions. Okay, now I need to navigate into functions, so that I can do each of those tasks given to me. Let's say the first task I'm supposed to do is to write a function. Okay, is to write a function that prints probably the alphabet in lower cases followed by a new line per se, but you were asked to use underscore butcher in your function. Okay, you are not asked to use the standard library at all, but you were given the underscore butcher function. Okay, you were given a file, or you were given the underscore butcher function, and that underscore butcher function had to be inside a file called underscore butcher.c. Let's say for instance, so I'm just going to quickly grab that file. I think I have that file somewhere. Just give me a minute. Probably I'm just going to write that underscore butcher function again. So this underscore butcher function is already given to you in the general requirement. That's the function you're supposed to use. So and it should be inside the file called underscore butcher.c. So this is one other file that you don't want to push to GitHub. I'm going to tell you. So let me just quickly put the function here. Just give me a minute. Let me just be quick about this. I should have done this, but include uni std.h. So inside this is going to be int underscore butcher. Then it's going to take a parameter which is of character data type. Let's call it C. Then inside here, I like to always do this. So I'm just going to return. We are using a write function which is available inside this universal. I don't really know the full meaning, but I think this standard library are included in line 1. That's the header file. Inside that header file is where you have this function, this write function, and it's going to write a single character to the standard output. 1 represents standard output, and the next thing I'm going to do that is the address of this variable. Okay, that's the value stored in that address, and then the last argument that is going to take is the number of characters I want to put is just a single character. Then I will close this guy, then put my semicolon. I don't need to be explaining this, and if you know that in the underscore butcher that you are given, this actually obeys Betty standard, but I'm going to skip Betty standard from now, just for me not to waste too much of your time. So this file this function will be given for you. All you just have to do is to copy and paste it inside this underscore butcher.c file. So currently I have underscore butcher.c, which is not where I'm actually supposed to write which is not where I'm actually required to write what the function of that particular task. Okay, then the next thing I need to create what a main.h. That's what the header file that contains all the prototype that I'm going to be using inside my main program. Okay, so inside here, you need to guide your header file, right? So which is hash if ndef. You can just give it a unique name. I like to name it like this. You can name it whichever way. So main underscore h underscore. I prefer to just that what this name is unique, is not taken by any keyword of C. Okay, if not define, which is still going to be the same name that you specified above. All right, then always make sure to end your if statement. So inside here, I'm just going to put the prototype of my underscore pucher, which is int underscore pucher. Then I'll pass in the parameter that I passed into it. So this is just all I need to do is just to declare the function I'm going to be using inside my main program, which this is one of it. Okay, so now also in your task you were given a file called main.c. Let's say you are given a test file that is going to test your whether your function is actually working correctly, you are getting the required output as expected. Okay, all you just have to do now is to just copy the function. Let's say you are given one-main.c as the name of the file that contains the main program of your test file. Okay, all you just have to do is to copy it from that example box provided under that particular task. So I'm just going to write a random so a random test file. So I'm just going to include, since I'm going to be using my that underscore pucher here, so I need to include it like this. This is a user defined header file. Okay, if it's a standard header file, it has to come with that square bracket. All right, so now inside this I'm just going to write my main function. That's int main. I want to pass in void, no parameter. Then inside here I'm going to have the test file, which is just to call the function that I want to write, which is, and my function that was given is printf. I just want to call the function so that it can be it can be reusable here. Your main function is the entry file for all your C program. Without this your main function, your program will never run. So I'm just going to return 0 since it's of integer data type. Okay, integer data type, the return values of integer. Okay, permit me, mind me, I just want to skip Betty for now. You still have to have your Betty documentation style, which is the comment at the top of this. All right, but I'm going to skip it. So this is the prototype of the function given, and this is the content of the test file that was given in the question. Now let's go back to the question. The question says we should write a function that prints the alphabet in lower cases. Okay, that print the alphabet in lower cases, then followed by a new line. All right, and the name of the function they gave us to write it into, they told us to write it into a file called alph.c, which stands for alphabet. Okay, so inside here I'm now going to write the function that actually print. So inside this function I'll be writing, inside this file I'll be writing a function that prints I'll be writing a program, a logic that prints the alphabet in lower cases. So since I'm going to be printing, I need they told me not to use the standard library. That's why they provided me with that underscore pucher function, which is inside the underscore pucher.c. all right, so now I'm going to include, where do I have that underscore pucher? I have it in that main.h, this header file that I created. Okay, so here they gave me is going to be a void function, right? And the name of that function is alph, and it's going to take no parameter. I'm going to just set it as void, and here I have what, which is going to be what, since I'm going to be writing a function that prints the alphabet in lower cases. Okay, that means, and I know my alphabet starts from what, A to Z. All right, and I'm to use what, underscore pucha in my function. I have to loop through what, from what, A to Z, since they follow each other serially. Okay, and small letter A is from 97, and small letter Z is 122. Yeah, if I'm correct. Yeah, I think so. So now I just need to declare or okay, let me just sort declare. That means, for your for loop, you need to have the beginning and then what, the ending of your what, of your loop. So I'm just going to declare a character. Since I'm dealing with characters, I'm just going to declare a character variable called what, letter. All right, so now I'm now going to what, to loop through what, to loop through. So that means what, I want my letter, for letter is equal to what, to character A. All right, then letter, that means it's starting from A, and what is less than or what, or equal to Z. That means I want it to stop at Z. Okay, then what, keep incrementing what, letter. Right, then what do I want to do now? This is me just looping through what, from A to Z. Then I want to print them individually. That means I'm using my what, underscore pucha function, which I already what, declared inside this what, this header file, and is being defined inside a file called what, underscore pucha.c. So I want to print what, each of these what, individual letters as you are what, as you are looping through them. Okay, then after all this is done, then I want to what, to add a new line outside what, the loop. Okay, so I'm just going to add a new line character, which is going to be \n. Now I'm going to add my what, semicolon here. This is a void function, there is no what, return value. Okay, meanwhile, now this your function has to be what, declared inside this what, main.h, because what, you called it back, you called it inside your what, inside your main.c file. Okay, remember you call this function. Okay, the name of the function is print underscore half. Okay, I will go and change it. Okay, I literally forgot the name of the function that I used. So it's print underscore half. Okay, so that means, let me go back to this file and then correct it. So that means here I have what, print underscore half. Well, this is what, the name of my function. Now I have to go and what, declare it inside what, this main.h file. So all I need to do is just to go inside what, the main.h file, and add it here. So inside here I have what, declare it, that's void print underscore half. There is no variable, no parameter, so I'll just leave it at void. So there you have it. Since, because here your program will start running from here, right? So once your program runs from here, it will now trigger this what, this print alphabet function. This is a function, but it is not in the standard library, it is inside what, this main.h file. Then to now go inside the main.h file and see whether you declare the function. Okay, sweet, you declare the function. Then afterwards, now go inside what, this file, and see where you have what, and it will locate where you have what, this file. This function will be located inside that what, inside this half.c file. Now inside this function I use another function which I declared inside what, the main.h, which is this underscore pucha. So now if you want to see whether you actually wrote the correct thing, you want to compile your program now. Now in your question, all they gave you was what, this half.c, and what, you need is what, this main.h as well, to include what, the prototype of what, the function that was written inside this file. Okay, but if you want to now compile, you need to compile all the .c file that are relating to this function. The first thing is to compile your main.c file. Okay, but inside this main.c file you have another function that is written inside another file, which is this half.c file. And inside this half.c file you have that underscore pucha function that is being defined inside this underscore pucha.c file. So that's why you need to compile all these three files together for your program to be executed, to be compiled, then the output to be sent to an executable file called a.out by default, or probably you redirected that output into another file using a flag called o, that's -o. Then you just specify the name of the file that you want your output to be sent to. Alright, so now I'm going to compile, that's GDC. I'm going to compile with the ALX standard of compilation with those warning flag -wall pedantic, yes, dash, okay, it is pedantic, I think, yeah, then -warrior, okay, -wextra, I think, wextra, okay, alright, there shouldn't be a space there, -wextra, sorry, then -std, standard equals GNU 89. Alright, then this is the standard that ALX uses to compile. This is the compilation, this is the GCC, that's the compiler that we're using. Then followed by all these option warning flags, okay, then followed by all the name of the C files that I want to compile. So the first one will be my main.c. Then I also want to compile this my half.c. Then the next thing I want to compile is my underscore pucha.c. With all being said, if I don't put, let me specify where I want to send my output to using this flag -o. I want to send my output into a file called alphabet. Alright, if I should run this with you can see there is no error. That means my code actually ran, was compiled successfully, and the result is being stored, is being saved inside this file. In order to see your results, since this is an executable file, all you need to do is just to press /alphabet, then you have A to Z in small, in lower cases, then followed by a new line. Alright, so there you have it. But the main purpose of this, now if you want to push this, now you've finished, you make sure that you've already done the function that they asked you to write inside this file. But what you need to push is just these two files. These are just the two files you need to push to GitHub. This one is not needed on your GitHub. This one too is not needed on your GitHub. Even the executable file is not needed on your GitHub. Alright, so what do you do at that point in time? What do you do? All you just need, if you don't want to push this, all you just need to do is to create a .gitignore file via into the .gitignore file. .gitignore is used to ignore any file that you don't want to push to GitHub. All you just need to do is to add the name of the files that you don't want to push to GitHub. Now this is one file, this is another file I don't want to find in my GitHub, and this is the third file. So once you open up this .gitignore with your favorite text editor, I use VI, you can use Emacs, whichever one suits your taste. So you just add the name of the file that you don't want to push to GitHub. So all I need to do is just to press I to insert. The first file I don't want to push is one-main.c. Another file I don't want to push is this underscore pucha.c. Then the next file is that executable file called alphabet. Alright, if I should do this, so these are all the three files I don't want to push, right? So now the files will still be will still be available inside your local computer. But when you do git status now, okay, when you git add, right, that means I'm adding all the files that I made changes to. Now these files include these files that I added include this .c, this main.h, and also that .git .gitignore file as well, because it's also a new file that I created that is used to what, to ignore what, all these or other 3 files. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to run what, git commit, is to commit my changes. Okay, then with a reasonable message, let me just say functions, let me just say tax1. You can just name it, give it a reasonable name. Okay, now I've committed what, the changes. So the next thing I want to do now is to what, is to git push to my GitHub what, account. So this is going to, now it's pushing, it has been pushed. So if I should go to my GitHub account now and try to locate that specific repository, which is this what, ALX low level programming, that's the repository I just pushed to, right? Then I'm going to look for what, that directory that I'm working under. So the name of the directory that I created for that project was what, was called functions. Okay, this is it here. So now, with all this said, if I should open these functions, in your local computer, let me list now. You have what, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 files together with the .gitignore, until I do ls-a for me to see what this .gitignore is an hidden file. Okay, but it is still part of what, it is still part of all the files that you have in this current directory, but it is hidden. Now in my GitHub account, I should be expecting just 1, 2, 3, since I already ignored these other files. So let's go and check. Let me open up the functions directory in my GitHub account. Now you can see I have this .gitignore, my .c, where I have my function, and my main.h. Okay, so that is that. So let's say you have another project. For instance, let's say you have another tax, which is tax 2, and tax 2 says that you should write a function that print the alphabet in upper cases, right? You should write the function that print the alphabet in upper cases. So, and you are asked to, now you already have a function. It is actually similar to what we just did. The only difference is we are writing in upper cases. What we did there is what is lower cases. Also, that means in that file you were given another file, another test file called what, 2-main.c. But inside this 2-main.c, they gave you, that was where they called the function that you are asked to. That is where the function that you are asked to write is being what, is being called. Is being called back, right? Or is being used. Okay. So now I'm going to press insert. So this is the given test file include. So sorry about that. So I have what, main.h. So inside this you are given int main, which has no params. Then okay, inside here they just called what, the function. Let me just say upper, let me just call it upper_half. They just call the function like this for you, and they wrote a return value. What's your problem? And they wrote a return of what, 0, since it's of integer data type. This one is your test. The test case will always be given. Okay, the test case will always be given. That means now for you to do is now to write what, this function is now to write the logic for what, for this function, in order for you to print what, alphabet in all upper cases. So let's just go to that real quick. So I'm just going to vi, what's the name of the function I used there? Okay, let me just call this 2-half.c. okay, since it's for tax 2. Alright, so inside here, since I'm going to be using the same _pucha, right? So I'm just going to include, this should be what, main.h. Then here I'm going to have the void function, and the name of the function is that what, upper_half. There is no parameter, which is void. So sorry about that. So inside here, I'm going to declare a character. You can also use the integer values of the characters as well. All right, so we are not here to actually explain the code, so let me just stick to this character. So I'm just going to look through it. Now in this case, your letter will be starting from from uppercase A, all right, to to lowercase z, uppercase Z. Then I'm going to increment letter. All right, so inside here I want to use the underscore butcher function to print individual letters as it is looping. All right, then I also want to add a new line after the loop. So I'm just going to do underscore butcher the new line character, which is this. What did I do? Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so we've written the function to print alphabet in upper cases. So now after all this is done, remember to always to add your the prototype of your function inside the header file, which is the main.h. So all you just need to do is to go to the next and include void. Here you have upper underscore half. Since there is a void, there is no parameter, is a non-parameter function. So we are done with this. So now if you want to test, now you have this is your 2-main, this is your 2-main.c, and okay, this is where you have the function. Okay, like I explained earlier, if you want to compile now, you have to compile this file, and this file in order for you to have a complete compilation. If you don't compile any of this file that you have the function, it's going to throw an error that undefined reference to a particular function that was being called inside any of those files. That means you did not find where you defined a particular function, because you did not include the file that the function that you use is being defined as part of the files that you want to compile. All right, so always make sure this is just for you to test. You can as well, if you are sure that you are correct, the function you wrote inside this, the checker is not going to complain that okay, you do not do this or you do not do that. But for you to check, you always need this your test file. You always need the underscore butcher.c file as well, as long as this particular task is concerned. So all I need to do is just to run. Let me just go up to copy this back. So I'm just going to edit this. So I want to compile my 2-main.c. I want to compile where I have the main file for this function, and I also want to compile my underscore butcher.c file. Let me clear my screen so you can see. Okay, so I'm compiling my 2-main.c, 2-half.c, and my underscore butcher.c for me to test whether my program is running as expected. Then I'm going to send the output into a file called upper. Let me just name it upper. Now there's no error. My file my code compile successfully, and it sent the result into an executable file called upper. So all I need to do is just to do /upper for me to do this. I have my alphabet in upper cases. Now you are done. You want to push to GitHub, and on your GitHub account, all you just need to push is just this guy. But if you do git add dot, it's going to add all the files. So just like we did earlier on, you just need to open up your .gitignore file, right? Your .gitignore file. Oh, sorry about that. Your .gitignore file that you created earlier to ignore the files that you don't need for task 1. All right, and add now this time around we are adding the second test file for that's this 2-main.c. Then this we already added this guy. Then this is the upper the executable file for the second task. So like now, all you want to do, press insert. On the next line, you just need to do that means for this one you have 2-main.c. Sorry about that. 2-main.c. Then on the next line you add the executable file, which is called upper. We don't need it on your GitHub account. That means you are trying to ignore this guy and this guy for the second task. but there is a refined way for you to do this. If you have like another task now, you will also be given another text file called what, probably 3-main.c. Then for the next one you have what, 4-main.c. The next one you have 5-main.c, probably to 20. You keep adding those files one after the other, one after the other. But yeah, there's a way you can add what you can use the wildcard. You can use the wildcard character. That's the asterisk, which means to match a particular pattern. You can see this 1-main.c. The only difference, they all have the same ending, which is this what, main.c. Okay, you don't have any other file code that is having what, main.c, apart from, it's only the text files that have what, main.c. Let's say, like what I was saying, like now you have another file, you've done the third task, you have it as what, 3-main.c. You've done the next one, which is what, 4-main.c. You've done the next one, call it what, 5-. You can't keep typing this one after the other. Okay, all you just need to do is to what, is to match, is to use the wildcard character to what, to match everything that ends with what, main.c. And this is how you do it. All you just need to do is to do everything that what ends with what, main.c. That means this character is coming from this wildcard, this asterisk means what, any characters that is in front of what, main.c. That's what I want to have it. I want to add there. So 1-main.c have already been taken care of by what, this. 2-main.c have been taken care of by this. 3-main.c, 4-main.c. So in that case, you won't have to be coming here every time. The only thing you just need to be coming here to add is your what, probably the executable file. After you've compiled your program and you've run it and you saw that what, the code is working as what's expected. So you don't need to keep coming here to add what, the text files. You can just put this what, asterisk main.c, which since they are all what, ending with what, main.c. So we are going to test this out. So I'm going to remove all the main.c and leave just the asterisk main.c. I've removed this. So if this works successfully, that means what, that my 2-main.c is not supposed to push to GitHub by the time I push my code. I had commit and then push my code. So now let's go. So all I need to do is to git add dot, I want to do something, git commit -m. I'm going to call this tags 2. Then I want to git push. Now what I'm doing, it might be strange to some people and some people might actually understand it, but let me just quickly explain this. That means I'm trying to run these 3 commands on a single line. That means after running git add dot, then go to the next one and commit, then go and finally push. This your semicolon means end of a particular statement. Okay, that means after this I've ended it, then the next one I've ended this one. Once when you are done with this, do this for me. So now it has committed, that means it has add, it has committed, now it has pushed. I don't need to do it one after the other. Git add, enter, git commit, blah 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 blah, enter, git push, blah 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 blah, enter. You can just do them on a single straight line like this. Alright, so let's go to GitHub and confirm. So all I need to do is to refresh. So as you can see, you only have the 2-half.c. You don't have that 2-main.c. But the only thing I have inside this .gitignore is this asterisk main.c. It has taken care of the 1- and the 2-. It will take care of everything that has main.c ending, all the files that have main.c ending it. So I hope you do understand how to ignore some certain file you don't want to push to GitHub. So thank you very much, and that concludes this tutorial sections. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and then share this video to other people that might find it worthy, relevant to them. Alright then, thank you very much. Do have a wonderful day. Happy coding. Peace out.